We can only learn so much in one place. The more that I wait, the more time that I waste. Repeat after me, please. We can only learn so much in one place.
We can only learn so much in one place.
We can only learn so much in one place.
We can only learn so much in one place.
The more that I wait,
The more that I wait,
the more time that I waste.
the more time that I waste.
Anybody know who that is? That pearl of wisdom. I wish I said it, but Madonna said it. Madonna said it. Now, whether you love her or not, she is arguably one of the greatest female brands of our time, certainly our generation. And she is the queen of reinvention. But you don't have to be Madonna to have your own personal brand. As long as you hustle, as long as you're focused, as long as you know who you are in your unique self on the inside. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Tapping that unique potential within yourself to find your own personal brand. Because I believe that the greatest way to figure out what your personal brand is to get really quiet. Is to go to that depth within yourself, the depth of breath, the quietness. Because from there, transformation comes. We're all running around in this sensory overload, stimulated society, not getting quiet enough to listen to who we are in our hearts on a deeper level. Over the last 2 weeks, I've interviewed some women who have been marketing to women for the last 10, 20, 30 years. One of them is Elsie Mayo. She has a company called Elsie and Company, and works a lot on what she calls soul branding, works with companies and individuals, getting them to the core of their brand. And she talks about the feminization of business. Not the womanization of business, but the feminization of business. The idea that we are beginning to align our core value system with our business message. The great Indian mystic Tagore once wrote a long time ago, we gain our freedom when we attain our truest self. So, number one, identifying what that passion is for you. Write it down. Live it, breathe it, know it, love it. He went on to talk about the fact that we can imitate. If you like something, you can imitate it. But until you get to the core of who you are, it's not authentic. It's got to be in your authentic voice, through your authentic lens. How do we find that passion? Sometimes it comes through crisis. That's how it came from me. I'll show you that story in a moment. And other times it could come from hanging out with your kids. It could come in, that epiphany moment, that aha moment, a dream. Really pay attention to the signals around you. Pick up on what catches your attention. What is your passion? Write it down. It can also come because there's just like this little twinkle in the eye. I have an interest in something. I'm going to look a little further into that. Once again, identifying your passion. I'm going to use an example of, you're going to love this, by the way. At News 12, we have a director named Adam. Kind of shy. Known him for a little over a year or so. One day, he's a director, kind of quiet. I'm in the makeup room, and I'm having a hard time with my hair. It was not going well for me. And this is coming from a very timid young man. He said, "Can I do your hair today?" And I thought, huh? You're directing me on, on the news in about an hour. I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. Fabulous hairdo. Best. My news director, what did you do? My executive producer, you gotta do that again. And the magic bullet was, who I later named Adamo. And Adamo, actually, we just had a party for him last night. He was unfortunately leaving News 12 and going for his beautician's license. At 26 years old. He gave up, he's not giving up, he's actually going to continue to work in business and at the television station. So he identified his passion and he went for it. Now, we can't just identify our passions and say, I'm not going to work anymore, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to go on the computer and do all my research. You do have to work. So he's going to hold down a job, he's going to do some research on it, but he made that step. He jumped off the cliff and he's going back to school. Number two, what are the traits that you have already within your body, within your mind, within your soul, that can feed that passion? What are you known for, either at work or in your business? What have your contributions been? And if you don't know what they are, form your own personal branding advisory board. Not just a right? Isn't that a great idea? I love that. Not just a masterminding group, but a group of women or friends who you know you can call and just say, look, tell me what's so good about me I need to know. What do I bring to the table that's completely different? Because sometimes we look in the mirror and we just see bags under our eyes, which is what I saw this morning. So you need that support system, that community, relationship. It's about relationship building. So if you nurture that brand and you nurture what your strengths are, you nurture what your passion is, then you come to what I call talking points. How do you articulate your personal brand? How do you come to do that? You gotta write them down. You have to practice them. You have to network with people and then you try it out. Try out those talking points. Go to network, literally write down 3 sentences that describe you. This is what I'm passionate about. This is why I stand out above the rest, and this is how I can make it happen for you. This is the value I bring to your company or your business. Shakespeare wrote, in dreams we begin our possibilities, and I'd like to add to that in self-contemplative exercises, we can contact who we are at our core and identify that personal brand and learn to articulate it. Once you have your personal brand, you can come out there and say, I have a lot. This is who I am. This is the value I bring to the table. This is the value I bring to the table. We are in a time of great transition, as Judy was just speaking about. Do not be left behind at the train station. Get aboard the internet train. It's time. It's the only way you can really get out there and move forward in what you're doing. So we go back to the phrase that I began with, from this great branding icon. We can only learn so much in one place. The more that I wait, the more time there is. It is time to move. It is time for action. So thank you very much. Thank you.